Hi there, people. This is Pray Love, and today I'm talking about a fragrance I didn't even know I had, which is kind of weird because I keep them in the list somewhere, don't I? But I didn't know I had it because it was one of those really cheap fragrances I had put uh, when I did I ordered several fragrances, and to cut the shipping, I bought a very like dirty cheap fragrance. And I was like hearing a lot about this fragrance a bit everywhere, especially since Sauvage Elixir went out. For those of you who really are into, the fragrance communities, you probably know what I'm talking about if I mention Sauvage Elixir. It's this one, Drakkar Noir by Guy Laroche. So, what is this fragrance? It is a fragrance that it has come out in 1982, if I recall, and it is a fragrance that is shower gel-ish. Like every shower gel nowadays just smell like that, but mostly shaving foam, shaving cream. So this is a fragrance that a lot of people, you know, they think it's a bit banal because there's lots of shaving creams and aftershaves and everything that smell a bit like that. Um, and so I still heard a lot about it, and I was like, why don't I check it out? I like going through my fragrances. I had that one for a long time, and I think I remember that when I opened the bottle, the atomizer is super cheap, and I was like, okay, this is a cheap fragrance. Why did I buy that at first? And I smelled it, and I was like, okay, this is shaving cream. This is shower gel, fresh. You know, I think I bought it at the same time I did perhaps Adidas, the fragrance, the Adidas fragrance I have. Not sure, but something like that. And but I think I remember that I thought it smelled a bit like my father um, used to smell when you went on gigs and everything, and he dressed up for like going to play drums and concerts and everything, shows. So I was like not really into it, and didn't even try it. So that's how it ended. I think that at first I put it in because there was a lot of jokes about it. It's like there was running gags in the fragrance communities about it, and then I saw Shameless. I was like rewatching Shameless, and the first Fiona's first boyfriend wears Drakkar Noir, so I was like, I'm going to get that one just to know what he's talking about, what people are talking about in general, and it was like kind of a joke. But then nowadays I've seen a lot of people just comment on Drakkar Noir saying it's not so bad, it's actually pretty good, very masculine, tons of notes in there, a really nice dry down. So I was like, okay, let's check it out. And so today I did. That was a long part just to explain the thought process of this fragrance. But anyway, and I tried it on today. First time in it, like I never tried it on, so it was the first time I actually tried the fragrance after just spraying like on something just to smell it, and I'm pretty impressed for real. So um, it does have that brut cologne and like old style kind of old guy fragrance, but I think it's pretty nice compared to Brut Cologne. It's pretty nice because there's still this vetiver feel, this green feel of all the herbs, but there's a lot more of the spices and the leathery accord, and it's really complex and it's really good. So for real, right now I'm liking that fragrance. It is like shaving cream ish, so it has that masculine resonance. I'm pretty sure that anyone could get away with it, but it has that masculine resonance. It's a hairy chest type of fragrance, very like powerful, masculine. That's the kind of fragrance you get, and there's not really any fragrance that does that nowadays. Right now, it's like pretty cross-gendered, and I think it's still wearable by women and everyone can wear that, but it's still like it has that, I don't know, it's just that it's so much associated with male products in general, that type of scent, that you kind of get like the idea of that, 80s power muscle guy, or maybe a yuppie or whatever, someone, I don't know. So any type of very, no, manly guy, from the 80s. That's pretty much it. But I like it. It's fresh. It's still very fresh and clean. It's very professional. It's kind of classy, and it costs nothing. Now, about people that say that it's actually Sauvage Elixir by Dior, smells like it. I don't think so. Sauvage Elixir has really the Sauvage DNA, but it's even darker and everything. This one is not even as dark as Sauvage Eau de Parfum. It's very spicy, and but it's not Ambroxan. It's not, it's not all the base notes. It's more of a really complex 80s powerhouse, but it's fresh and clean, and it's not as dark as and not as base oriented as Sauvage Elixir. So, but I might try to layer that one with Sauvage Eau de Parfum and see where it gets me. But I remember smelling Sauvage Elixir, and I didn't have that feel. I know that I've smelled, yeah, this is more like Brut Cologne and the old Polo Ralph Lauren fragrances. I think perhaps Polo Green. I don't know, but it's the 80s fragrances, and it's like a big representative of that era in fragrances in general. But it had the same place that nowadays Sauvage occupies. um, so perhaps that's the only thing that we can get. And also, is it wearable today? Well, of course it is. Every like fragrances don't have like an expiry date on that, like the type of smell. Is it trendy? I don't think it's really trendy, but could it be? Perhaps, because things seem to go in cycles in general. But this could be trendy. I think for a lot of people, it is still very um, the 80s fragrance, and it's old guys, that used to wear it in the 80s, and everyone seemed to be wearing that in the 80s. So for a lot of older people, that's the idea they get in the 80s and 90s. Clubbing guys and stuff, a bit like Sauvage today, but I think perhaps even worse. Um, but for younger people like me, that I'm born in the mid 90s, so I never grew up with like the clubbing guys from the 80s and 90s. So, for me, I think it's perfectly wearable, and it could be really interesting to wear it without those people from the 80s that could, bring it back, like, oh yeah, the kind of douchebags from the 80s used to wear that, the yuppies that tried to be like, show their money and everything. But I don't know what they're thinking, but maybe if with us people that don't have that kind of association, perhaps it could work. Perhaps it could work on our generation and generations after. I like wearing old fragrances because it's just different. But I think that still there's some people who do bad associations with that are older than us. So perhaps not completely like friendly for family meetings and everything, but 100% go for it anytime, but especially with people our age. And I think it's still office friendly even with older people because it still has that clean, soapy shaving foam shower gel vibe that is really, really nice. If you want to read the notes, go online and read them. There's tons of it. It's like, I think it's those times, today we're like all getting wild around fragrances that have like three notes, and it's like abroxan, ozonic, and I don't know, white florals. But these times, my God, there's like leather, patchouli, vetiver. It's countless notes. Mint, I think. It's there's a lot of notes, but it still comes off as one really clear, can't miss it scent. And yeah, I'm looking forward to be trying it out with different layering combos too, um, and continue rocking Drakkar Noir, even though I wasn't born in 1982. Anyway, spread love and spread love. Bye bye.